Megan began by honoring her mother with heartbreaking memories. She described her as a loving parent, her safe place, and the person who always put her children first. Every small memory, from grocery trips to long car rides, became a painful reminder of the love she had lost.
My name is Megan, and I'm here to speak as my mother's child. My mom was an incredible woman. Her life revolved around my brother and I. Everything she did, every sacrifice, every choice, was rooted in love for her children. She showed up and always cared deeply for those around her. She was present, nurturing, and strong in the ways that mattered. I was always told that no one is perfect, but to me she was perfect. She was loving and she was my safe place. And I miss her every day, but I think it's the little things that I miss the most. I miss the way she would put her purse in her cart when we went grocery shopping, or our long car rides where she would ask me to sing to her, or the way I can still hear her say, "Save it for the car," when there was gossip we couldn't discuss in public. I still remember the way she would smile when I would bring her her favorite flowers. I even had them tattooed on my arm, so I could see them every day and think of her. My mom was the person I turned to for comfort, guidance, and unconditional love. She knew me in a way no one else ever.
Then her speech took a dramatic turn. Megan declared that her mother was not the villain she had been portrayed as, but the true victim. She explained that speaking out could cost her relationships, yet she chose truth over silence and held her father responsible for taking her mother's life.
Ever will. She celebrated my successes, held me together when I was struggling, and loved me without conditions or expectations. She was my constant, my support, and my sense of home. Losing her didn't just take away a parent, it took away the person who made me feel safe in this world. I loved her more than anything, and I still do. My mother cannot speak for herself anymore, so I am speaking now. She was not the monster she was portrayed to be. She was not the problem. She was the victim. I know what I say today will cause a lot of my family to hate me. I have already been judged, rejected, and blamed for speaking honestly. You all have expressed your deep anger and disappointment in me, but I cannot carry the weight of silence on top of the weight of grief. I would rather be honest about how I feel than protect a version of events that aren't true. I'd rather risk losing people than risk losing myself. And I'd rather honor my mother than stay quiet to protect a version of events that aren't true. Speaking today is not about revenge, it is about truth. It is about refusing to let my mother's life be erased or distorted. And it is about the accountability for the choices that took her from us. My father's actions took my mom's life. They took my future with her. They took moments, memories, and milestones that will never exist. No sentencing can bring her back.
Megan described the emotional pain she suffered after her mother's death. She said her grief was ignored, her cries for comfort were dismissed, and even during her own medical emergency, her father focused on protecting himself instead of helping his daughter. She believed those actions revealed his guilt.
Back, but acknowledging the harm done to her matters. After my mom's death, I was never allowed to be angry. Every time I reached out to you, desperate for comfort, desperate for a father, I was often shut down. You would say, "I can't handle this right now." Or you were too busy with your mistress to care that your daughter was falling apart. You made my pain an inconvenience. You made my grief something I had to carry alone. I swallowed my anger for years because there was no space for it in your world. But you don't get to take my mom from me and then expect my silence. You do not get to decide when my emotions are acceptable. Today I'm allowing myself to feel my anger, and I will not be quiet about it anymore. What hurts in a way I will never fully be able to put into words is that you didn't just take my mom from me. You had the nerve to look me in the eyes days later and ask if I was relieved she was dead. Relieved. After you killed her, that question is something I will carry with me for the rest of my life. It was cruel, it was heartless, it was inhuman. You didn't just kill my mom, you tried.
She went on to accuse her father of exploiting his children, bringing another woman into their home only days after the tragedy, and expecting them to move on as if nothing had happened. Megan said no one could ever replace the mother who built their family with love.
Tried to steal my right to grieve her. You killed the person who loved me, who raised me, and who was my home. And then you attempted to twist that devastation into something I should somehow feel thankful for. You tried to rewrite the most worst moment in my life into a favor you did for me. Regardless of what people say, my brother and I are victims too. You didn't just take our mom from us, you tried to use us to save yourself. Last year when I was rushed to the ER, when my body was literally shutting down from the stress and the trauma, you didn't come to my side. You didn't call the doctors to ask what was happening. You didn't pray for me. Instead, you went to your attorney to figure out how my suffering can help you in court. You saw my seizures, not as a sign that your daughter was breaking under the weight of what you had done, but as something you could possibly twist to your advantage. That was beyond neglect. It was exploitation. And then, when you knew I was trying to recover, you had the audacity to call me while you were drunk, crying and sobbing, apologizing over and over and dumping your emotions at me like I was your parent. You never said what you were sorry for, but at that moment, I knew you were guilty.
In the final moments, Megan reflected on the strength she was forced to find after unimaginable loss. She remembered the last night she spent with her mother, looked to the brightest star in the sky as a symbol of her love, and ended with a powerful promise that her mother's truth would never be forgotten. The courtroom responded with a simple but meaningful acknowledgement. Well said.